Hey Sagittarius, welcome to your reading where we'll take a peek at how you can invite healthy, loving relationships into your life. We're going to start first by pulling a couple of oracle cards just to see what energy is surrounding this reading for you guys. Okay, we got two that came out for you. And the first card that we have for you is passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. And we also have retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. Interesting little pairing right there, but let's see what other energies are coming through for this reading for my Sagittarius collective. And we have Rhiannon, sorceress. You are a magical person who can manifest your clear intentions into reality. All right, so what I'm feeling for you guys, for my Sagittarius collective, and I love this because it's such a happy, floaty feeling that's coming through for this, is that if you want this beautiful relationship that I think you're envisioning, that it's time for you to sort of take a step back and really think hard and map out what it is that you want, what you feel, how this person treats you, like this, whatever laundry list you have in terms of what your ideal relationship looks like. It feels like manifestation is going to play a huge role in this. So whatever method that you use, 369, vision boards, scripting, living in the end, whatever it is, whatever gets you excited about the prospect of relationship is going to be what draws that into you. But it doesn't feel like this is a situation where you're sort of running around to your friends saying, this is what I want. I want, I don't know what y'all want out there, an Instagram model or somebody who's like 6'9" and this and that and the fifth. Whatever resonates with you, whatever floats your boat, this is something that is going to be an internal exercise. And it's going to, it has such a daydreamy feeling. It's almost like I can see you in these quiet moments thinking about what it feels like when this person calls you, or what it feels like when they hug you, or they're holding your hand walking down the street. You all are talking over dinner. It's almost like these scenes are playing over and over in your mind. So if you haven't tried to manifest or, tried law of attraction or law of assumption or anything like that, this might be a good time for you to kind of read up on it, because it feels like the energy is right and that you're in a pretty good space to be able to start doing that, especially if you can find a little bit of quiet time for yourself to focus. So let's get into some tarot and see what other messages Spirit has for you. And I just dropped a card on the floor. The one that came out was the 8 of Coins. But we're going to put that back in. And we're going to start by taking a peek at something that you can work on to help you attract this relationship that you are desiring. What can my Sagittarius collective work on? And what we have for you is the 2 of Swords in reverse. So I think that for a lot of my Sagittarius out there, is that Sagittariuses? Sagittarii? Anywho, I think that a lot of you have been a little bit on the fence when it comes to relationships, and A, whether or not you want one, and then B, what that relationship looks like or who it's with. It's a lot of waffling. It's a lot of going back and forth. There are times when you're like, yeah, I would love a relationship. It would be so nice to have a partner. And then other times it's like, yeah, I don't want to be bothered. I do not want to be bothered. And so I feel like the first step, if this is actually something that you want, is to committing to it, right? Committing to the desire of you having this healthy relationship that you may have been on the fence about. And I think that for a lot of you, the part that comes in where you say you don't want a relationship or you don't want to be bothered is not because you truly don't want one. it's just the thought or the prospect of something going wrong, of investing time in somebody and having it not go the way that you hope that it would go. It's like, do I even want to be bothered with all of that? Like, I don't want to deal with that shit again. Like, I'm so good. Never mind. I don't want it. But then there are moments where it's like, yeah, I actually do want that. So I think the first thing for you to work on, Sagittarius, is figuring out whether or not you really do want this. And I think that deep down that you do. And we also have the 3 of coins. So this is a card of partnership. It's a card of working together. So I think that ultimately you have to make this decision on whether or not a partnership is something that you truly want. Because when it comes to manifestation, there's no room for doubt. It's like, that this is what you want and this is what you're going to have. When you start saying, I don't know, the universe is kind of like, oh, okay, well, if you don't know, I don't know neither. Child, go on. I got other things to do. So being sort of firm in your decision, being firm in your conviction is going to help. Now, when it comes to love, the reason that you might be on the fence, King of Swords, an idea that you have about love. And I just heard the song Love Hurts. And I feel like it was either Leo or Aries that got a similar energy that came out for them. The King of Swords is a very blunt energy. They can be very cutting. They're thoughtful, but I think at times they can also be very thoughtless. So I feel like in your relationships, you've encountered some pretty thoughtless people over the years. And it's ended up in some very hurtful situations that I think that you are mostly recovered from, but there's still enough residual trauma there that sometimes you're like, you just don't want to bother. You do not want to bother with them. And we have the 4 of Wands in reverse. So thinking about relationships and building a foundation, it's almost as if, there's this thought, it's like there is no stability in relationships. There are too many uncertainties. There are too many unknowns. And yes, that's true. You never really know what tomorrow's going to bring. People can surprise you. They've certainly surprised me. And I expect that there's been more than a couple that have surprised you too. But I think that, there's this thought that you have when it comes to relationships that there's no true foundation. Like there's just nothing but instability to be found. And that's what makes you so hesitant, I think, to take a chance on someone new, on, exploring what could be, sort of getting back out there and just saying, you know what? Yeah, this is what I want. So this is what we're going after. Well, damn. Okay. So how you can fix this idea that you have about love, we have the 6 of Wands in reverse. I think that when it comes to the 6 of Wands, this is really about victory. It's about validation. It's being affirmed and celebrated by other people. And I think that, at the most basic level, that there is going to be a need for you to recognize yourself first and foremost, right? That, this shaky foundation theory that you may have when it comes to relationships, it's okay. But I think that at times you have been looking for maybe some validation or acknowledgement or affirmation from a romantic partner. And when you didn't give it, or when you didn't receive it, it sort of made things feel, and rightfully so, like they were horribly off balance. And so I think that the first step is making sure that your own foundation is strong before you can even think about entering in any sort of relationship or partnership or exploration with anybody else. So making sure that you're good, that you're self-affirmed, that you give yourself your own victory lap every single day just for making it through the day. Times are hard out here nowadays, you know what I mean? And we have that clarified by the world. So the world is the ending of one chapter and the beginning of a new one. It's like how the world, circles the sun, how it rotates on its own axis every day, that there is always an opportunity for something new, for something new to begin. And so if you have been sort of lingering in experiences of the past, if you want this relationship to come in, it's time for you to close the chapter on that. So, and again, for a lot of my Sagittariuses out there, I don't feel like you are so immersed in this trauma that you are paralyzed, that you can't move. It feels like by all rights, you have a good life. You get out with friends. It may go out here and there. I'm feeling for a lot of you, not so much. You've been more in the don't bother me phase. But if you're looking for this healthy relationship, it's time to close the chapter on what's happened in the past. And I feel like you've done a pretty significant amount of healing, that you're going to be able to do that, at least enough to get out and explore who and what is out there for you. Now, the best way for you to accept love into your life, I love this. We have the Magician and we also have the Page of Cups, and the Magician's in reverse. So accepting love for you, Sagittarius, is going to really center around you letting things flow. Like the Magician is about having everything it is that you need to accomplish something or to gain something. And I think that my Saggies have that out there, right? But the Magician can also be about manipulation. It can be about puppeteering and a little bit of trickster energy. And so I think that for you all, allowing love into your life and accepting this healthy relationship that you're looking for is going to require you sort of fighting the feeling that you have to do too much. You don't have to form and manipulate and mold and this and that and the other. You're not going to have to do any of that. So sort of letting go of any control impulses that you might have is going to be important for you. And we also have the Page of Cups. So I think that this card is actually going both ways, right? Where you offer a little something and in return, you be willing to accept a little something. I do not feel that for your next relationship, it's going to be something that's like, oh, whiz, bang, boom. Like we met last week and guess what? We got married the next month. I don't feel like it's going to be that type of scenario, but I think that there's going to be giving on both sides. And that's what's going to allow you all to build and grow together going forward. But you're going to have to be willing to give a little bit, and you're also going to be willing, you're going to have to be willing to accept a little bit as well. So, Sagittarius, don't forget that you are absolutely worthy of having a healthy relationship. And to that point, we have the Fool and we also have the Two of Wands in reverse. So the Fool is really about someone who is embarking on a new journey. They are not taking much with them. They don't have a lot by way of baggage. Like they are light and free and they are ready for this adventure. They have the sun shining on their face and they're ready to take the leap of faith, knowing that the universe is going to be there to catch them. Like no matter what. And with the Two of Wands, this is typically someone who is at an inflection point, right? They have one wand that's planted, that's stationary, that's not moving. And then in the other hand, they have the World. And they're trying to figure out whether or not they're ready, truly ready to explore. And I think that between the two of these, especially with the Two of Wands in reverse, that there's no decision that needs to be made. You are ready to take that leap. And because you are ready, the universe is like, well, shit, guess what? So are we. Let's do this. And so all that's left for you to do is to envision, is to daydream, is to feel those feelings that will help call this person into you. So Saggies, I don't know if you're feeling it right now, but I certainly am. And I got a little bit of Sagittarius in my chart. I too have not wanted to be bothered by relationships, but this is making me think that, perhaps I should manifest a little bit and see what happens. Now, how you're going to find someone who is ready, willing, and able to be in this type of relationship with you, we have the Eight of Coins. Now, the Eight of Coins is really focused on work. It's about someone who is constantly trying to better themselves, trying to be a master of their own craft. Now, for practical purposes, when it comes to your reading, you might very well encounter this person at work. And that's not to say that it's a coworker or a colleague. Maybe you go to a training seminar or something that's related to the job that you do. Or maybe you go to a conference, or maybe you go to like an industry happy hour. But, it feels like this person is very connected with how it is that you make money. And we have that clarified by the Queen of Swords. So very thoughtful energy, there's a lot of intellectual power here. So it could be someone who maybe they're a speaker or they're presenting something, or you just have this conversation with them that you're kind of like, wow, this person is smart as all hell. And so I do feel that it's somehow connected to your job or the industry that you're working in. So, if you're antisocial at work, Sagittarius, go to a happy hour. You never know what might happen. Order a little Shirley Temple, talk about a Netflix movie you watched. But it could be that that's the opening, that's where you'll meet your person. Now, another message from Spirit. Oh, look at this. We have true love. This love is once in a lifetime. So, look at you manifesting your true love, Sagittarius. All of that garbage that you experienced before, I'm not going to say it was worth it. Because I'm sure that it sucked at the time. But all of this healing that you've done, all of this growing, this energy that you're stepping into where you are very sure of what it is that you want, what it is that you've been manifesting, is going to pay off in dividends. So I'm excited for you, Sag. Make sure that you check back in and let me know what happened. So that's what I got for you guys. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.